Hey guys, most of the Mad here, and I just wanted to give you a quick rundown on the latest update number 2 for Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. This just dropped today. I'm just going to quickly read through it and comment on a couple of really important changes that have happened in the latest update. So Twitch drops will now be available for all players. I know some people were concerned about that. The Twitch drops are just like cosmetic items that you were able to get by watching Twitch streams. Now you don't have to do that anymore. You'll have them available in your game. There's some campaign bug fixes, Grey Knight fixes where they could get stuck in a no action state after obstacles were destroyed. Fixed an issue where they would not get XP. Fixed an issue where Fortitude and Iron Will would interfere with each other, preventing the appropriate willpower point gain. Some weapon fixes, some performance improvements. I'll put a link down in the description down below. You can read through all this if you're interested. They've removed the auto pause feature when alt tabbing in windowed and full screen mode. The game will now continue to run when you leave the game screen. They removed the heartbeat sound effect to play during the enemy turn. You'll no longer hear the panicked heartbeats of enemies when you Persian of Heresy. Okay, cool. Balance changes. Okay, this is the really important bit. We've made a number of balance changes to resolve a couple of exploits which affected the intended use of game mechanics. We are continuing to monitor feedback and performance to ensure that difficulty levels are tactically challenging but fair. The willpower bonus for killing units is now capped to +1 willpower point per Grey Knight attack to remove excessive willpower surplus at higher difficulty levels. Grey Knights can still gain additional bonus willpower from triggering autos. So basically this means that they've kind of done a nerf to the Justicar Interceptor combo and probably other combinations as well. So basically, you used to be able to use your Justicar to spend 1 action point and 2 willpower to give 3 action points to your Interceptor, and then your Interceptor would get lots of willpower back because it would be killing all the enemies with all of his action points, whereas the Justicar wouldn't get very many kills because they're kind of back, they're just buffing the Interceptor. But what you could do is like kind of throw a grenade, kill 3 or 4 enemies at once, and you would get 4 that the Interceptor's already softened up for you, and then instantly get back like 4 more willpower back to your Justicar, so you can keep buffing your Interceptor and so on, and keep chaining them together, chaining the turns together and stuff. So yeah, so basically they've made it harder now. So presumably you can still get 2 willpower points per turn with your Justicar. You just have to use 1 action point to buff your Interceptor, and then have your 2 other action points to shoot 2 different enemies, or melee 2 different enemies to kill them. So it's going to be a bit harder to manage, but you should still be able to basically do the same thing that you could do before. It's just going to be harder, and it's going to be harder to chain it on from turn to turn to turn. So yeah, I think that's a really intelligent and good change for that. I think most people who have used the Interceptor Justicar combo would agree that it was pretty overpowered and kind of overshadowed all the other classes in the game. I think it probably still does, but maybe it won't be quite so broken now. But yeah, I think I was expecting them to do a much more heavy-handed nerf. This essentially means you can still do the exact same thing. It's just going to be harder to keep doing it over and over and over again for as long. Reduce the critical vulnerability values for enemies to reduce the critical strike chances from Grey Knight class builds that are not focusing on increasing critical strike chances. This will now provide more value to Grey Knights who have been designed to unleash more critical strikes. If you've been playing the game, you probably noticed that all of your Grey Knights get quite a lot of critical hits. So basically just reducing that across the board. So all your Knights will no longer get lots of critical hits, but the ones that you've spec'd into crits will, be able to get lots of crits. Rebalanced a number of weapon skills that, when combined with certain abilities, were providing too great a bonus over their intended use. I'm not sure which weapons in particular they're talking about there. The pre-order hammer that you get, that you can force strike to get extra stun, that was pretty overpowered. I got to use that for a little while before they patched it out. If you have the stun hammer, that's like a tier 3 hammer, if you got the pre-order, if you get that at the start and then you use that, do force strike to get extra stun. And if you've got the apothecary buff that gives you +2 stun. So I don't know, maybe it's something like that they're talking about. Fixed an issue where stun modifiers were not scaling correctly in Ruthless and Legendary difficulties. I have no idea what that means. I'm not sure how the stun modifiers would scale. Most of the stun modifiers I've seen are only +1. How do you scale +1 to make it +2? If anyone knows what that means, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be trying it out tonight on stream, and we'll see what we notice. In the meantime, they're continuing to investigate some cases of performance issues, notably those with NVIDIA 3000 cards, and potentially improvements to the early game balancing and difficulty curve on merciful and standard settings. Okay, yeah, I've noticed a few people complaining about the performance being stuttery and laggy and stuff like that. Personally, I haven't actually had any problems with performance that I've noticed. And I have also noticed a lot of people saying they're having extreme difficulty playing the game, even on normal and easy difficulties. So yeah, so it looks like they're addressing that as well. So yeah, praise the Emperor. Praise the Emperor indeed. But yeah, overall, I'm really impressed that this patch came out so quickly. And yeah, really impressed with that intelligent kind of way of addressing this issue with the extra action points from the Grey Knights, and possibly from it's meant to address other issues as well. But instead of like nerfing the ability directly, they just sort of nerfed your ability to regain willpower in order to keep doing the ability over and over again excessively. So yeah, I think that's quite good, and it's encouraging for the future balancing of the game. Anyway, thanks guys.